Hello, friends. Please pray with me. Be here among us with all of your wisdom, all of your power, all of your mercy, all of your love. Breathe on us, breath of God, and fill this world with your healing power. Amen. Hear the story of the children of Israel in the desert. From the wilderness of sin, the whole congregation of the Israelites journeyed by stages as the Lord commanded. They camped at Rephidim, but there was no water for the people to drink. The people quarreled with Moses and said, "Give us water to drink." Moses said to them, "Why do you quarrel with me? Why do you test the Lord?" But the people thirsted there for water, and the people complained against Moses and said, "Why did you bring us out of Egypt? To kill us and our children and livestock with thirst?" So Moses cried out to the Lord, "What shall I do with this people? They are almost ready to stone me." The Lord said to Moses, "Go on ahead of the people and take some of the elders of Israel with you. Take in your hand the staff with which you struck the Nile, and go. I will be standing there in front of you on the rock at Horeb. Strike the rock, and water will come out of it, so that the people may drink." Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. He called the place Massah and Meribah, because the Israelites quarreled and tested the Lord, saying, "Is the Lord among us or not?" God's people in the desert were complainers. When they complained they were hungry and exasperated Moses, who you will recall didn't want this job in the first place, turned to God again. God responded by providing them with the bread of angels, manna, which appeared on the ground each morning, and they found quail for them each evening at twilight. They had food enough, the scriptures say, as much as each of them needed. Today we find them halfway through the desert, but still many miles and many generations away from their destination. They complain that they're thirsty, so they whine, "What were you thinking bringing us into this desert? Did you bring us here to die of thirst?" Moses, sick of being the middleman and worrying that these people would actually stone him, turns again to God with their legitimate, desperate pleas for water. God responds without comment on their griping by leading Moses to a rock, saying, "I will be there, standing in front of you on the rock at Horeb." And he instructs Moses to strike the rock, which will then produce water. These people are really good at complaining. It seems to be working for them. First, they complain to Moses. Then Moses complains to God, and God provides, and the cycle repeats itself. Their needs are real. Freedom, food, and water are the basic necessities of life. Beneath all their complaints, however, lies the question, steeped in fear, is the Lord among us or not? They haven't yet made it to Mount Sinai, where God reveals himself to Moses and offers the 10 Commandments, guidelines for holy living as community. It's interesting that in this list of 10 Commandments, God never says, "Thou shalt not complain." Complaining isn't wrong or sinful in itself. Complaining doesn't mean that you are an unfaithful person. You and I come from a long line of complainers. Good, thoughtful, faithful stewardship of our complaints. That's what we need. God has given us sharp, analytical minds and the power of language, and complaining is one way we can make those needs known. Complaining also serves to bond a community together against a common wrong. However, complaining without purpose or consideration for the needs of others often either gets us into trouble, alienates us from others, or gets ourselves stuck, especially when it turns into whining. Here's what we learn about productive complaining from these masterful complainers in the desert. They complained to the right person, and they got results. They complained about real needs and were satisfied until at least their next opportunity for complaint. We can also learn much from their leader, Moses, who took his complaints directly to God. God can handle our complaints, I'm sure, and I don't think God is either offended or surprised by them. Complaining to God is a form of prayer. The Psalms are full of complaints to God. Prayer is not simply pious requests of God in church language. We can engage God honestly and authentically by complaining too. However, once your complaint has gotten God's attention, why not ask God to open your eyes to the ways you've contributed to the situation, and perhaps ask how God could guide you to remedy that which you are complaining about. Ask God to stand in front of you when you attempt to effect change, as God stood in front of Moses on the rock at Horeb. And you will have been a good steward of your capacity to complain. Unlike other people who may tire of our whining voices, God will never say to us, "I don't want to hear it." God invites us to bring everything to Him, and God will redeem all of what we carry to Him in prayer. Did you notice that those in the desert, for all their complaining, they were still moving forward, and their complaining did not lessen God's faithfulness or care of them? Neither will our complaining lessen God's faithfulness or care of us. Yes, their complaining made the journey longer. Our complaining may do the same, or at least make it seem longer to those who are annoyed by us. So, and I speak to myself as well, so complain if you must, and you know you will, but do not put all your energy into complaint. Save some for the naming of good things during this season of pandemic. Save some energy for helping those who are having a tougher time than you. Save some for thanking God for what you have and for being beside you. Let's always use our complaints and our words wisely, with purpose and for good, remembering that yes, the Lord is with us, whether we feel His presence or not, and that yes, the Lord hears our complaints as we wander through this wilderness we're in. May we always be good stewards of our capacity to complain. May God grant us the grace to keep moving forward to the place God would have us be. Amen. God bless you all.